get it started. Yo, the rhyme's been the dumbest since day one.
Hello and welcome to this first Mamba 2023 Bracketology. I'm excited to be here with our panel of elite Mamba specialists. We got some of the best in the industry here to go talk about you, the best reps competing in the Mamba. We're going to do one of these every couple of days. We're going to get one out every round for you. So make sure you're jumping on, checking out who we're talking about and who our top picks are. We're going to get right into it and get started. We got a lot of people to discuss. So Quade's going to lead off and go talk about his favorite picks of the Mamba.
Okay, so this week we're going to highlight each matchup. So the first matchup that I wanted to highlight was Dylan Clark versus Tyler Bean. These two are both regionals in the business and both have an incredible history. I think the thing I like about this matchup is they both have a great lead pool that they're pulling from. I know that Dylan's out blitzing right now. I know that Tyler Bean has a bunch. His little brother and a bunch of the gang from Shelley are out setting leads for Tyler, and they're both willing to go self-gen. So I think it's going to come down to the wire on that particular matchup. Also wanted to highlight the matchup of Nick Williams and Mr. Rowan Ruby. Both those guys are studs. Rowan's out with Team Tribus, and I mean, just an absolute dime piece. And then you also have Nick Williams that's out in Albuquerque that just made the move that's been killing it out there. So those two matchups are going to be really fun to watch, and I think they're going to come down to the wire also. Super
excited to see Dylan and Tyler Bean, both phenomenal solar vets that know how to throw down. Both are committed. Tyler took it deep last year, so expect to go see a heavy competition there. Thanks, Quade. Okay, we're going to jump over and talk with Mr. Stetson Banks, VP out in Rooted. This guy's got experience like nobody else. Let's hear it, Stetson.
Okay, this first round, I feel like there's a lot of blowouts, but the two I have my eyes on would be Derek Marlowe and Logan Wolf. Logan Wolf is ready for a big day today. I know Derek's kind of got the edge on him so far. And then the other one that I have my eyes on is Connor Wills and Jordan Perez. He's out in Chicago. Open that market. It's going to be exciting to watch. I got Jordan coming back. He's down 2-1 right now, but I think he's going to have a big day today. So that's who I got today.
Hey, Jordan, we already talked to Connor, and he's headed out to the door, so you better get after it.
That's also where we're going. And the cool part about that is we're in Connor's market today, and we'll be in his market. We'll be in Jordan's market tomorrow. So Friday.
Yep, couple days. Yeah, thank you, Stetson. And we are honored and very excited that we have the two-time back-to-back Mamba champion joining us on this call, ready to go give us the pro tips and deep insight to this year's bracket. Mr. Greg Osborne, Solar Greg, take it away.
Dude, I am jacked up. They say the Kentucky Derby is the best 90 seconds in sports. For me, the best 30 days in sports is the frickin' Mamba. And it's right here. And I got a couple matchups I want to talk about. First, Payson Erickson against Jared Gibson, two of my best friends, and they're literally giving each other the evil eye the last 3 days. They're not talking. They're not texting. They're trying to steal appointments from each other's lead reps. It's gotten freaking dirty in Dallas, baby, and it's going to be a showdown today. It's 1-1. It's going to be a photo finish. Another matchup that I'm just absolutely loving. How about Matt Jackson and Jace Hansen? First off, Matt Jackson, Blake Decker, I got them dark horses going super far in this tournament. If they don't win it this year, one of them is going to win it next year. And Jace Hansen, absolute stud, a 2 seed. He's got 4 lead reps at his disposal. Out of his last 10 sales, 8 of them were from lead reps. With the point system this year, I'm telling you right now, Chase Hansen is a front runner, but he's going against a hot GQ Bulldog in Matt Jackson, and that's going to be a photo finish shoe. Woo! I'm freaking excited, baby. Let's go!
Man, I love that. Thank you, Solar Greg. That was
Absolutely.
So good. Hey, if we had a magazine, those two matchups would be on the front of the magazine. No doubt. I absolutely love those matchups. Oh, thank you. Whew, I got my heart pumping a little bit, man. I'm pumped.
I started sweating. My hands are clammy over here.
That was good. Hey, Preston Erickson out in Cali, tell us who your picks are.
Ooh, good morning, America. LFG, baby. Greg's got some hot takes. I can appreciate those. I'm not going to say he's Stephen A today because those are some good takes. But I will say what's crazy, what sucks, you hate to see it. It's almost like Allen Iverson talking about practice. We're talking about practice. It's round one. But you got freaking Solar Chris Egbert versus Solar Chris Isaac Blake. And these two are going as far as possible in this tournament. They will go to, one of them will make it to the finals. And it sucks to see that they're both matched up against each other. I don't know which one I'm taking down, which one I'm taking to win it, because Solar Chris, you ask him, and his nickname came from Solar Greg. He heard there's a Solar Greg, and he said, bro, I don't care who this Solar Greg man is, but I got a picture of him on my mirror, and I see it every day, and I'm going to take him down. And you got Solar Isaac, who doesn't matter what it is. He misses. He doesn't get 4 leads in a day. He's out knocking early the next day to 4 correlations. So I don't know who's winning it out of this matchup, but I do know these two are going very far in this tournament, and that is the matchup, the championship, you could maybe even say, in round one to watch.
I think what's important to note there, Preston, is that it really matters how you seed, right? The interesting part about Solar is if you have a rough week in the seeding round, it ends up mixing things up. And because of that, we have some matchups that normally we wouldn't see till like the Sweet 16 or something that are end up happening like very early on in the competition. And I'm excited to see how that plays out over the next 30 days.
Just goes to show how important that seeding week really is. And if you go push that week, you get a good matchup and a good lineup for the entire tournament. Yeah, Chris Egbert and Isaac Blake probably misseeded, but at 61 and 68 seeds. So a couple dark horses you could call there. Lower seeds, but those guys are going to go deep. I like that call, Preston. Okay, we're going to jump over to probably the guy that knows our reps throughout the entire company and the numbers better than anybody else, talks and deals with them on a daily basis, Mr. Taylor Pingree.
All right, Solar Taylor here. I have some dark horses for you guys. In the lead rep side of things, I actually am going with Ryan LaRose, somehow coming in at 97 seed. Yeah, like Brandon said, kind of we see everybody come through, and I know that we created everything for Ryan 16 days ago. So 16 days ago, something like that, he got onboarded, got 2 deals right off the rip. But yeah, I'm looking for him to make a splash this round and actually go a little bit farther than that as well. Then for the closer out in Nevada, I believe, is Alex Salvatore at the 50 seed. I picked him from the beginning. If you look at the numbers right now, I'm pretty sure he's got a 2-0 lead, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I have him going pretty far as well. But for this round, that is definitely my dark horse as well with the 50 seed.
They're both great picks. That Nevada squad,
they're dialed.
Gritty, dirty.
Those guys
team.
Those guys are watching every matchup closer than, because I have the privilege of seeing all of the group meets, and every day they're posting the scores and the updates. And I think that's a really good leadership tip. If you're listening to this, if you want guys to go compete, you've got to make sure that they're being recognized for their efforts. And I think that the example that Nevada is setting is that they go look at those brackets and make them known every single day. And they're just making this tournament a huge focus, and they're pushing the production of the tournament by making it a priority.
Buy-in in this competition is everything. It's 30 days, and it feels like it's 30 days. And if you're not bought in, you'll die out fast. So buy in early, buy in fast, and buy in hard. All right, we're going to jump to, you guys know him as a very level-headed, mellow kind of guy, but nobody stirs the pot better in these bracketology calls than our very own Chief of Operations, Mr. Daniel Force.
Thanks, Brandon. All right, let's do this thing. I'm in the lead bracket today. I've got one matchup to talk about, and you guys know me. I'm going to bring up some numbers. So let's jump into it. I feel like somebody has to talk about the matchup between Zach Bagshaw and Andrew Anderson. This is the number 1 seed versus the 128 seed. Couple things I want to point out. First of all, Andrew Anderson, he's come out. He's doing really well. He's got Tate Foster and McCrae Foster who are closing deals for him. That automatically gives him a huge edge, having 2 of the best closers in the game being his closers. But the thing I want to point out about this whole matchup, and this is maybe the least stirring the pot conversation I can have, but seeding matters. I think seeding is so often underlooked in these competitions. And like, Zach Bagshaw is the top seed for a reason. I want to talk about a date for Zach Bagshaw. The date is June 1st. On June 1st, Zach Bagshaw and Luke Murdoch combined closed 5 deals. That is a crazy dynamic duo that can pop off like crazy in a single day. A lead rep doing 5, who has the capability to close 5 deals in a day, is basically unbeatable if he can maintain that momentum. The other thing I want to point out is that the New Mexico office, that market has been steadily building momentum. I think he's got the closer. He needs to win this thing. I'm calling Zach Bagshaw for the whole thing. He's got the closer who can do it. Him and Luke Murdoch, dynamic duo. He's in a office that is building momentum like crazy, like right now, and he's just got the numbers to prove it. He's got the record to prove it. So that's my pick, Zach Bagshaw, all the way. Know that I said it when he's on the podium at 42X next year.
Dude, not a very hot take, taking the number 1 seed, but I agree with you. Zach Bagshaw, we were just there earlier this week in that New Mexico office. He is a stud, and he had the eyes of a killer. He was ready to go. Something I want to point out that you talked about really quick, Dan, is every single year we've done this, we notice such a correlation with those high seeds and guys that go deep in the tournament with a closer and a lead rep that do it together. That combination is so critical and takes both people deep into the Mamba tournament. It's happened every single year we've run one of these, and every single year we see a strong closer and a strong lead rep go deep into the Mamba, and some years win it all. So that's so important and such a huge thing to go look for in these brackets as you're finding your favorite matchups. All right, he makes us all look pretty. He's pretty cute himself. He also knows a whole bunch about brackets. Let's jump over to Mr. Branson Bowler.
All right. One of the matchups I think that I'm watching closely is a guy that I actually just got to know a little bit better this past week in Arizona. And that's the matchup between Blake Decker and Trevin Facer. Greg kind of mentioned his name earlier. He might have had a little bit of a slower seeding period, being down at 52, but he's definitely not a 52 seed. But Trevin also is not a walk in the park. So I see this first matchup between them being big, because if Blake can pull it off, which I think he's got a pretty good lead as it is right now. He's one that I think I could see going far. And I looked, and he's actually on the upper side of the bracket compared to his buddy Matt Jackson. So there could be some fireworks towards the end if those 2 picks end up making it far enough. That could be pretty exciting. And I know those 2 now, and they're ballers. Like, they go all out. They're serious. They're legit. And that could be pretty exciting. But I do have a dark horse pick.
Oh boy.
What do we got?
So if you can read in reverse, but if you can't.
No, it worked. It was good. Go back.
Oh, can you read it like this?
Yeah, there you go.
My favorite Foster, McCrae. I love McCrae, and he's got a lot of momentum right now, and like Dan mentioned, there's momentum over there with their lead reps. And I see him going farther than anybody expects this year, to prove all the haters wrong.
I love that pick. McRae is a number 7 seed. He had a great seeding week. We'll see him go deep.
For sure.
I love it.
And I got him going
Branson
round
just low
2.
key called out Quaid too, so that was fun.
Yeah. Hey, you know what I'm noticing this year more than ever is usually there's a lot of heavy debate with who we want to win or who we feel like is going to win. There's typically some heavy debating going on, and kind of everybody's picks were like, yeah, that guy could do it. That guy could do it, which means probably one of two things. One, who's the guy that's going to go shut us all up and prove us wrong? And two, man, we have a lot of talented guys in the company this year. Just a lot of talent that you go look around the board and it's like, yeah, that guy could do it. Yeah, that guy could go do it. Maybe it'll be that dude. I want somebody to shut us up, though. I want somebody that we haven't said a word about to come out of nowhere and punch us all in the freaking mouth. That's the guy I want to win. That's the guy I love to see win. All right, we're going to jump to our last guy, the CEO of the company, the legend of door-to-door. This guy's been in, competed, and seen more rep versus rep competitions than anybody else on this call combined. He pioneered the programs, Mr. David Force.
Man, that intro, geez.
Hold on, Dave. Hold on. I just got to make sure everybody knows that this is how old Dave is. He's 20 plus years into this thing, to the point that when he gets on a flight, he's changing his shoes, guys. Like, he literally changes his shoes to get on a flight to make sure that he is comfortable. So,
Quaid has video evidence of this.
There's
Mr.
video
Loafer Dave.
footage. I got my hands on that footage too, so look forward to it.
Something to go along with all of that is not me being old, but in terms of the bracket and what Brandon was saying, I've never made a run in one of these tournaments where it wasn't very intentional, and what Brandon's saying is accurate. Like, the guys that actually end up going and winning a Mamba or making a significant run, it's always intentional. It's made up before the bracket's created, before anything really starts. You just can't by accident kind of default your way through the tournament. You have to go decide you're going to go make a run. I've got 2 matchups to watch. One in the closer bracket. We were just down there in New Mexico. Somebody said it. If I was talking an early favorite for the playoffs this year, they've had a crazy May. Their story, if you were writing their story and it ended in May, everyone would be like, man, this team, like, are they going to be all right? But Dan was right. They have so much momentum building right now. That New Mexico team is so dangerous in terms of a playoff. They're coming together as a group right now and gaining a lot of momentum. But when you're looking at some of the matchups there, Tyler Fredrickson, Freddie, is versus Mac Bajorn in the closer bracket. Once again, those Reno guys, the leader of the Reno team, they know this tournament. They're keeping their eye on it versus Freddie. I think it's a really interesting matchup. And then on the lead rep side, my pick is the LDM out there in Reno, Chris Carlisle versus Eli Everett. I think that Chris is going to take Eli. Eli is a recent transplant to Arizona and is crushing in Arizona. But I think Chris is going to edge him out. Eli, love you, brother. But I think Chris has got it this round.
Hot takes from our very own. Thank you, David. That's all we got for this week.
We'll check in a couple days.
Go kill it.
So now you're doing your thing, staying true to the game. But keep yourself, don't get consumed by the fame. When you make the cut, what you gonna do?